Alright, so here we are on the Jungle Scout software, and I'm going to run you through a quick overview before we actually get into product research. Now, there's there's two major things you're going to need to know. If you obviously went with the standard, you'll have the niche hunter, which is something you can explore, but something I won't actually get into in this course, essentially because I don't think it's necessary. Now, it's a cool little way to actually monitor products as well and find new potential products that are niche oriented, but I don't use it. I suggest just tracking through the product database and then potentially throwing on the product tracker. So two things you're going to need to know. Obviously, the product database will be where you'll do your research, and I just brought up a quick overview of the parameters that you'll see when you go into the product database, and we're going to go through this and kind of set them up in a second. And then the product tracker. The product tracker is once you actually submit things to the database, it will yield you a bunch of products below, which I will show you kind of down here if you'll see. And then you can simply add them to the product tracker. And if I add this to the product tracker, because let's say I potentially identified this as a potential item I want to look into, what the product tracker will do is when I actually go to my product tracker, it will start tracking that every single day so I can look at the information. And then I can kind of look at it more in depth on this product tracker. So this is something we'll touch on a little bit later. But right now we're just going to jump into the product database, and we are going to do some, excuse me, need a drink. Some product research through the database. Now, this is the fun part. I genuinely love and enjoy doing this. And depending on who you listen to, let's say you're on YouTube. When I first started this, a couple years ago, I literally took course after course on Udemy, and I had to piece together everything. You will not have to do that because I literally am putting a course together through this for you. So, when I bought a bunch of Udemy courses, I also know people that sell this information that I'm selling here or that I'm giving here for thousands of dollars, as well as I know people that sell it for a couple hundred. Each module in this course is literally only $10, so you're stealing this information. Now, depending on who, I bring that up because I want to say, depending on who you listen to or depending on what course you potentially could take, you'll hear different gurus, and I say that in quotes because I'm making a joke of it, tell you, you need to input this, you need to input that. Your price must be your price must be $12 to $40 when you're doing your product research, and you must make sure that your sales are $3,000 a month and no less than $3,000 to get the right prices or the right products. I want to touch on that because I think it's important to understand that if you input the same things that everybody's inputting, you're going to yield the same exact products that everybody's yielding. Now, you're going to yield potentially results of in the thousands, sometimes the hundred thousands, sometimes the tens of thousands. So you can clearly still look through the products, but what I'm trying to say is don't be afraid to switch it up. I'm going to give you some advice on what I like to throw in there and what I do, but trust me, I switch it up. I kind of explore, and that's the way that you're really going to find that home run product, by kind of exploring new things. So I'm going to give you some advice on what I think, and then you can kind of take that, use it if you want, but kind of mold it and modify it to what you want to do. Now, you might just stumble on a product that's phenomenal that nobody's seen if you switch up, if everybody's telling you that the rank must be below, the maximum rank must be, 80,000, and you switch it up and you go maximum rank of 100,000, but you potentially find, a kick-ass product that nobody else knows about because you're switching up the parameters slightly, then that's a product that you're seeing that nobody else is seeing. So don't be afraid to switch it up. Don't be afraid to try things, new things. Take some risks. Have some fun with this, because this is literally fun. And you can have a lot of fun, doing product research and pretty much seeing what is on Amazon. And another thing I want to touch on is the more you do this, people always say, how long will it take me to do product research? And we're going to jump into that very, very soon and the actual process and go through some numbers. I want to touch on that because I think it's important to understand that it could take you a day. You might find your product initially in an hour. And, I know lucky people that have done that. One of my products, it took me about 2 weeks to find. And I know people that it has taken them about a week or two to find. You might find your product in 3 days. You might find your product in a week. Regardless of either one that happens to you, if you find it in an hour, obviously that's ideal. But you don't want to rush it. So you want to track a bunch of different products and kind of look at a bunch of different products so you know what you're looking for, and you kind of see different examples of what's selling on Amazon, what they're selling for, their rank, and the price, and so on and so forth. The more you do product research, the better you will get at identifying potential profitable products. Okay, so don't be so afraid of taking a little bit of time and wanting to jump the gun, because the more you do it, the better you will actually get at it. I promise you that. And it's not a rush to the finish line. You can't think like, oh, I need to find this product so I can get it in first and be the first one there. No, you need to take some time, identify that it is a profitable product, track it for a couple of days, make sure. And then as soon as you make sure, then it's not a race to the finish line. It's pretty much, I've made sure, so I'm going to source this. And as long as I do my product listing right, which is, other courses after this, I get my initial reviews, which is definitely something I can help you out with, and definitely something that's vital. And, really get my sales velocity going initially to get that jump start. I'm going to be successful regardless. So it's not a race to the finish line. It might take you a day. It might take you a week. It might take you 2 weeks. Regardless of what that is, take your time, have some fun with it, and understand that it's not a race, it's fun.